Lamb shanks cooked with Sichuan peppercorns, a little bit of hoisin sauce, and of course some shiitake mushrooms.
Lovely.
Couldn't be more Chinese than that, could it? With a little Aussie twist, I know. Now what I've got here, Zoe, is some lovely lamb shanks.
Okay.
What I'm going to get you to do is season them with plenty of salt and pepper. And I want you to just stop for a second. You just want you to be me for a second. Put plenty of salt and pepper on there.
Just because it's your recipe.
Exactly, so we can get some flavour in it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this onion here and dice it up. Now, what we're going to do with the lamb shanks, Zoe, is we're going to brown them off in the pan because I want to seal them so they're nice and caramelised and, you know, sort of sweet on the outside. Now, to flavour that up as well, I've got some ginger that I'm crushing as well and some garlic. I've just sort of given it a rough chop. Can you pass me that olive oil, please? Sure. Because I'm going to brown this off. Now, a nice big splush of olive oil. When you are sealing off meat, you want to have a nice hot pan and plenty of oil in there, and you want to hear this sound when you put it in. Be careful because it is quite hot. That is the sound you want to hear, that sizzle.
Like music to his ears.
There's nothing better than hearing meat sizzle in a pan. Here we go. Look at that. Now, Zoe, if you've got that olive oil again, I'll get you to pass that to me. I've got another fry pan here, and I'll put the ginger, garlic, chilli in there, and that's got lots of flavour. And what I'm going to do, Zoe, if you get this celery, cut it down the middle and cut it sort of the size of a 10-cent piece is probably the best way. I've also got some cumin, and I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons of cumin in there, cumin powder.
Cumin isn't classically Chinese, so I like this little addition to it.
A melange of flavours, you might like to say. But here comes the Sichuan peppercorns. And I'll put these in my hand. They look like pink peppercorns, and they're sort of split open a little bit. When you put it in the mouth, it's got sort of like a fuzzy sort of flavour you get from it.
It feels like it's almost sizzling, like buzzing on your tongue. It's quite interesting.
In goes the celery. You can see the onions are nicely caramelised.
Yeah, lovely.
I've got some coriander there and some spring onions. Give me a bit of a rough chop of that because we're going to throw that in here as well. In the meantime, I'm going to add some soy sauce. I love soy sauce. The dark, rich soy sauce gives it some flavour. I've got probably a quarter of a cup or third of a cup goes in there. And I've also got some hoisin sauce. And this one's quite thick, about a quarter of a cup as well. And that'll help to darken the sauce and make it nice. And
these products are great because there's no added MSG, no preservatives, gluten-free. So I think if you are going to go for adding additional sauces that you're not making yourself, that's a good one to go with.
There we go, and it's tasty as well. Now in goes some chopped tomatoes.
It always comes back to the taste with AJ, which is true. I think the majority of people out there probably are taste-based over anything else.
It's all about flavour to me. Now, if you have a look at this before, you used fresh shiitakes before.
Yep.
I've got some dried shiitakes.
Lovely.
Let them soak and become nice and soft. If they're larger, you might want to remove the stems. That's the only thing.
And I always keep that liquid because that is incredibly tasty liquid. It's shiitake mushroom soup, practically.
There we go. And I'm going to put some of that in there for you. There we go. In goes the liquid. Now, in a jug there, I've got some stock. Some lovely beef stock. You can use chicken stock, vegetable stock. You can even use water if you want, or as we use then, the shiitake mushroom liquid.
Yeah, lovely.
And that goes there. And
well, it's not like this is anything vegetarian about this. So use your meat stock. Get extra flavour that way.
What was that word you used again? I'm not really sure about that
I like vegetarian food, Adrian.
There we go. And I'll stir that around. Make sure all these ingredients get down to the bottom there. I'm going to pop the lid on this and put it into a preheated oven at 170 degrees Celsius. It'll take about 2 hours to cook. Into the oven we go, and then we'll clean this up. You can smell it, can't you? There we go.
It's a good smell.
Off comes the lid.
Wow.
Looks good, doesn't it? Dark and rich. And
it looks very rich, that, you know, big flavour coming from, obviously, the Sichuan and the shiitake mushrooms.
A big bone coming out the end there. There we go. Look at that. A little bit of oil in there, but that's the oil with it. It has all the flavour in it, the spices.
Here we call it the oil of goodness.
It is, exactly. And it is quite dark. That's the sauces that we used in there, and the shiitake mushrooms and the stock.
I've got some that a bit on there for you?
Yeah, a bit of that on there. Pick it up with some green. There we go. And have a taste of this soda. Pull this over here.
That really just flaked off the bone beautifully, actually.
That's exactly what you want. When it comes off the bone like that, you know it's cooked beautifully. It's going to be moist because it's been sitting in the oven with a lid on it with all that liquid. That's
cooked to perfection, you know. I love the Sichuan. You know, it's interesting, I didn't know, but the Sichuan actually is part of the citrus family. So, you know, that's where we get that aniseed sort of zingy type flavour to it. It's really nice.
That's why it tastes so good and goes so well with this lamb and shiitake.
You know, ages, it's big, it's full-bodied, slightly too much oil. That's why my soup was so good, you know, balanced out everything. But, you know, 3 amazing recipes.